Hey, Jeremy, you hungry?
Hungry for what?
Hungry for ambition and taking high risk.
Well, I don't know. Well, I guess I used to be a little bit, but once I don't know. I guess in my early 20s, gradually, I feel the motivation coming down. But I guess it's about the energy you have, I guess, because to be motivated, you have to have energy. And then that's when you like keep get in the 20s. I guess that's when your energy starts going down. And then for me, the motivation, same direction.
You
You know.
sound like an old man, Jeremy, and you're only 25 years old. Welcome to Piano Lit TV. This is your host, Alexander Bui, joined by co-host Jeremy Al. Today we're talking about the power of ambition. And as Jeremy was telling us, he starts to get old at age 20. Now, for those people who are middle aged and the elderly, they're listening to this and wondering how are the young generation aging so fast and losing so much motivation when they're reaching their 20s. um, it is kind of weird, when I talk to my parents and people like in my parents' timeline, they're really hardworking and they get married like early 20s, middle 20s. And now the young generation, there's not really a limit to really get pressure to be married. And some people are just working their butt off, right? Even until even 40, they're still not married. And not saying marriage is part of your ambition or reflective of your ambitions, but what is ambition really, Jeremy?
And I guess it's basically motivation, you know. But I guess when when you do something, I guess you need to have a goal, you know. Because let's say you do anything, maybe you start instrument, maybe you start training at the gym, or you start playing some sport. I guess if you just do it to do it, you're
Don't
not gonna
forget
get.
playing instrument.
But if you just do it to do it, then you're not looking for any results.
That's right. And
Yeah.
you and me see it. Even we're going to college, right? There's so many musician friends we have. And we ask them, what do you want to do in life? They say, I want to do this, I want to do that. But there's no confidence in their tone.
Mm.
It's like they're really not sure. And of course, it's fine to be not sure. But if you're like, even in your, let's say you got your bachelor degree and you say, I want to do my master. Approximately, like, approximately half of these people go into masters because they're afraid to go into the real world, especially musicians, right? Bachelor in this world doesn't suffice enough anymore. Maybe because of the competitiveness of so many people getting bachelor, it's just a normal thing. And then masters is also a normal thing. Then also the doctor degree is also a normal thing. So the level of competition is much higher in the United States. So people are worried. There's so many of us, but only few can fill the slots for jobs. And that's where in schools they don't teach you ambition. They teach you how to play your instrument, give you knowledge in your music, but they don't teach you how to look into the real world as much. And but they do give you options. At least for me, as a pianist, right? I come in my undergrad in Manhattan School of Music, and I think I just play piano solo. That's my career. Little did I know, there's many more jobs, opportunities in piano that are not related to solo, like accompanying or being a vocal coach, musical theater accompanying, like even diving into different genres, chamber music. So ambition is something that motivates you, yes. But what can cause that motivation, Jeremy?
Well, I guess it depends on the person, you know. And I guess, well, let's put it this way. I guess you have to have some kind of negative, negative feeling to have that positive motivation feeling. I feel those people who, let's say, they start playing instrument, and everything is so easy for them. And I guess they may be really talented. They really, everything is really easy for them at the beginning. Well, of course, a lot of them are motivated too, but since it comes really easy, a lot of them are not motivated because they don't know the feeling of working hard to achieve something, you know. And then I guess if you feel a little bit, oh, you need to work hard to achieve something, they maybe, let's say, they get a little better maybe, and they say, oh, I have to keep working harder to achieve even more, you know. And so I guess the people who well, I guess, yeah, it's a lot of they need to have something. Maybe they see other people with them. Let's say, even if you have a lot of talent, but maybe you see someone who's better, or a lot of people who's better around you, then you start feeling that motivation. So you need some little bit negative feeling to get that motivation. Because if you're always at the top, and you don't have to work hard to get to the top, then you don't have that motivation.
Yeah, those are really good points. I feel like if you have easy life, you really just go with the flow. It's like nothing nothing is motivating you. And you're right. And I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to be like in a very good spot and be very comfortable. But if you haven't experienced hardship, that's one thing that can really boost you. You know, in the US, especially, many Americans cannot afford to attend conservatories because the tuition is way too high, right? It's like beyond, it could be beyond their parents' income, right? And on the other hand, if you don't get a scholarship, if you're going for there for the first time, if you're getting a bachelor's degree, that's 4 times. Let's say a college tuition is $40,000 times by 4. What do you get? $160,000, and that could all buy you a house. So an investment of students' education is quite important, but is it so much important that the student goes into debt, and then after they graduate, they have to work so many years to pay it off, right? If they're taking government loans, you can count the interest. So it's no longer 160K anymore. It could be now 200, depending how many years they are going to pay it off. So something like that, I think. Let's say you are in a family, you have no one in your family that's musically talented, and you pick up a instrument, any instrument, it could be violin, piano, cello, in school, and you start to like it a lot, but you don't even have money for lessons. Your parents don't have the support. They can't because they need to feed the family. And it's unfortunate that some actually students really love music, but they aren't given the opportunity to study properly or even have the chance to study with a good teacher. So they've been poor their whole life. They go in, they get accepted into a conservatory, but no scholarship because maybe they're not really as good yet. But is it really their fault? Not really. They they were taken care of by their parents or their guardians, just like the basics. Now the student is gonna wonder, oh, what am I going to do, right? So that's the motivation for the student, because the student is now faced with hardship financially. Maybe now the student gonna go work and maybe try to maybe find a teacher, get work to earn the income to even pay for a better teacher. So, all the um the musicians that are famous now, that they didn't start off all wealthy. No, not all of them anyway. Some of them were very dirt poor. They have nothing. And especially coming over here to the US, they may have nothing to even offer. So if you haven't experienced hardship, find something that you are not good at and try it. If you, let's say, never went to the gym before, go to the gym and see how hard it is to go to the gym and don't know what to do. If you want to do something that's out of your league, that's also a good way to see how hard it is. But it's also, you have to think about it. Your passion, your motivation all goes together. And if you want to have results, right? I think that's the thing that really drives people. The results, the ambition, what they really, really want to pinpoint in their life. And short and long-term goals, those are the most important things when you're deciding what to do, right? Let's say, Jeremy, you want to get into an orchestra, right? You want to be a concert master orchestra. You can't expect that to do that in 6 months if you, let's say, you are like average. You're average. So what do? You're a violinist. Why don't you tell our listeners here?
Well, like you just have to work hard. But I guess in that case, you really have to aim for that goal. Well, I guess that's a good example because let's say you practice but you have no event, right? Of course, I mean some people I've heard they actually work pretty well in that situation because it's like you're running, right? But you have no finish line. So some people, if they don't see a finish line, they just go slow. But some people, if they don't see finish line, they just keep going as fast as they can. But I guess most people, they have to have see that finish line to aim for something. And I guess that's a good, if you have audition, that's your finish line. And so you have something that you are aiming to get. So I guess that's a good example. And the thing, I feel a lot of the kids these days, their parents make them play the instrument or parents make them play the sport. And I mean, that's it's okay to a degree because maybe in the future they feel like they see what's good about it, But in some case, maybe they're just wasting the time, So I guess it depends. I mean, it's good to try. I guess, but even for those kids, I feel it's best if they do something that they want to do, because I feel to get really good at something, you have to like it. Well, I want to say you have to like it, but you have to have a goal. So
But
let's say,
do kids have
right.
goals at that point?
Well, let's say let's say their parent makes them play tennis, right? Maybe they don't love tennis, but let's say they have tournament coming up, right? Even if they don't love the sport, they still want to win the tournament. And sometimes that is motivation. And then maybe as they keep winning, maybe they're talented. Maybe they don't like it the most, but they're talented in tennis, and they win those junior tournaments. And then maybe as they win those junior tournaments, they find oh, maybe I do like this, you know. And sometimes I feel it comes both ways. Sometimes you don't like it because you're not good at it, and sometimes you like it because you're good at it, you know. So, and then maybe when you first started, you didn't like it, but you found out you're good at it, and then you enjoy it because you're good at it, you know.
Yeah, psychology plays a big
Mm.
role in this. You know, it's so wonderful, you know. Even kids, the parents, it is the parents' goal to really guide them and nurture them. And I do know that many parents, they try to throw so many activities at the kid. One, to expose them to these activities, which are wonderful. But you know, they're also human beings, right? They can't be the Energizer Bunny. They run out of energy too, no matter how young they are. And these are good tips for parenting. This should be a parenting episode.
Yeah, well, you know, of course I don't want the kid, but well, I really definitely don't want the kid. But you know, if I was
Oh,
parent,
you
right?
exposed your secret to the world.
But you know, if I was a parent, right? I guess first I wouldn't want them to do any activity. Actually, I feel that I wouldn't want them to do any activity unless they really say, "Oh, I really want to do this," you know, and definitely not music. But
Why not music?
I guess definitely not music because it's what I did, you know. And you know, I seen music, you know, and so I've seen what you have to do, what people do to get better, how you know what kind of world it is. So I'm kind of bored of it, you know. I don't want unless if I'm not I'm definitely not gonna have kids, but if my kid says, "Oh, I want to do music," right? I would only let them do it if they pass what I achieve. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't want them to do it just to become the same as me, or you know, maybe just a little better. If they're gonna do it, they have to be well, top player, because I maybe you know, because I've seen top player too, you know, around. I mean, you of course you've seen top player as you go to, you know, conservatory. You see, or festival, you see those kids that are in the international competitions, you know. So you already see the top kind of top player, and you see what it's about. I mean, it's not that interesting for you anymore. So I know if I have a kid, I want them to see something else, you know, something I didn't see before. But I would say, I mean, I wouldn't want them to do any activity unless they really want to do the activity. And then if they're gonna do the activity, they have to do it well. But I wouldn't go past one activity, you know. If they want to do tennis, they say I'll say maybe only tennis, you know. And then but they have to at least, you know, win some tournament. Even not I wouldn't say you have to become pro. That's a whole different story. But at least, you know, like play some tournaments, get past in the, you know, get to at least, you know, win some junior tournament, or else,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, maybe if you don't become daddy, you become uncle.
Well, you know, I can become grandfather too, you know.
But though, you know, that's one way to look at it from raising a kid,
Mm,
and that's a very good ambition helper. You are
mm,
helping the kid's ambition together,
mm,
you and the kid. But I do get, you know, why other parents just throw everything at their kids, because you know
mm,
maybe the kid never get exposed to tennis, so how he
mm,
know what tennis is, or Piano, he never had piano in the house. He don't know what piano is. But don't I wouldn't say restrict the kid from not doing music. He can have a hobby, right? He can appreciate it. And I know what you mean. Some musicians don't want their offspring to do music because of the life that they went through, and they probably want to help the kid experience a different type of life, right? And musicians are not meant to be rich, not to be wealthy, and more than often, the term starving artists are very true. However, if you become a starving artist, that's where your hardship comes in. And if you want to be back in the world and be financially stable and still stay in the musical path, that's your ambition. That's where your ambition comes in. And going back to short and long-term goals, how to do those? You have to plan it out. You can't just go day by day and aimlessly just practice. You have to plan it out. Have a journal, or go on your computer and write things down. Write things down, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish in a week, in a day, in a month, in a couple months, half a year, 2 years, and so on, right? Ambition is great and powerful. And the more risks you take, the higher the rewards, right? You've heard that saying, but it also could lead to failure. So use ambition very wisely. Know yourself first before you do anything. And for those who are, in the same circle as you, musician circle, ask for advice. For me, ambition is something that still drives me to this day, because I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. So my ambition is still on fire. Jeremy, he said, "Oh, I'm slowing down." It's fine, right? We both live different lives, but we're still happy, kinda, for now. But yeah, that's the power of ambition, and I hope you find something to do. If you haven't already, if you're just sitting there bored at home because of this quarantine, COVID, do something fun. Find a hobby, right? And let's see if you like it. You gotta have passion to do something you like, and that's how that will drive you. So thank you for listening. This is Piano Lin TV with your host Alexander Bui and co-host Jeremy Au. This was on the power of ambition. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. We're always having great episodes and different topics every Thursday. And we also have those teaching videos. If you haven't seen them, check them out Tuesdays and Saturdays. And podcast people, you're just gonna have to go on our social media, Piano Lin TV, to watch them. We can't put them on the podcast because you can't teach without showing. So follow us through our podcast platforms, and we'll see you next week. Stay tuned. Bye bye.